We have Chris, and he's going to follow me, and he's going to give an update on the Meta plant, which is about 25 minutes down the road here from downtown Savannah. I think, you'll see when he walks you through the plans for the plant, you'll see just how massive an operation this really is. I drove there yesterday, and you guys will all get an opportunity to drive there on our route today. We'll be driving out to Hilton Head, and we'll pass by the property on our way out there. And the size of the property, it's hard to even fathom. You can look at a million pictures and hear the acreage and all this, but when you drive by and you see just how massive this facility is going to be, it's really impressive. So I'm excited for you to see it. And then we have Tripp, who's here with the city of Savannah to give an update on some of the economic developments going on here in the city. And then last but not least, we have John Simmons with our product team, who's the product expert on ioniq6, who will be walking through the product presentation. And then we'll finalize with some Q&A. So with that, I'll bring Chris up to walk us through some of the plant. Thanks.
Great, thanks DJ. So a little introduction about myself. So my name is Chris Smith, and I'm Chief Project Implementation Officer at Hyundai Motor Group, Meta Plant America, or HMGMA. A little bit about myself. So I worked in the Montgomery plant for 17 years. I'm a lawyer by trade. Please don't hold that against me. And I got involved in this project about a year ago. We did the very first site visit in January of last year. And I joke the reason why they got me involved in the project was they needed someone with a southern accent to look around the sites in Georgia, so a little local coverage. But nonetheless, been involved in the project. I made, I think, 17 trips over the last year back and forth to Savannah, kind of help with the project. Most of my role really is kind of making sure that Hyundai, all the affiliate companies, I'll kind of walk you through that in a second, the local government agencies, all kind of work well together this project. It's really complex. It's a lot of fun, but really kind of complex because it's such a massive project. But anyway, with that being said, I'm going to kind of walk you through the project itself and the site, and I'm excited for you guys to be able to see that today because it really is impressive to see it with your own set of eyes. It's pretty unbelievable how big it is and how massive this facility is going to be. So with that being said, let me kind of go over just a little bit about the MetaPlat concept, kind of what we're trying to accomplish here through HMGMA. And it's really a couple different strategies, and you'll see this theme repeat through my presentation, especially some of the site layouts and things like that. The first one is flexibility. This plant is designed to be very, very flexible, so we can kind of shift production very, very quickly based on consumer needs and wants. Next is it's going to be a very, very intelligent plant. Everything from like intelligent automation, a lot of high use in robots, everything from AGVs, using that to help self-park cars and things such as that. The other big category is eco-humanity, and that's kind of the corporate speak for basically making sure that it's a green facility that we're, in addition to trying to be an EV facility, we're also trying to make sure that we're ecologically responsible there on the site. But also tied to that is really, our workforce and making sure we treat our employees very, very well. And so you'll see that through wellness, kind of human-oriented, everything from ergonomics to make sure this is a really good workplace for our employees. All right, so here's the site layout right here. I'll kind of walk you through some of these with my laser pointer. So very, very huge piece of property. There is basically 2,900 acres, this entire site, and right here is going to be the OEM, Hyundai, or the assembly plant. The production is going to start in the stamping shop, the weld shop, then it goes to paint, then it goes to general assembly, all the parts come together. So that's the OEM. In addition to that, we're going to have 4 affiliates on site, and these are related companies. So you're going to have Transys, which is the seat manufacturer. They're going to have a facility on the site providing seats to the OEM. And then you have Mobis, which is going to have a BSA and module facility to help make the electric motors for the vehicle. And then likewise, you're gonna have Glovis, which is our logistics arm. They're gonna bring in parts, help sort those, and then the finished vehicles are gonna leave through Mogus, through truck, and also there's a rail right here as well. And then on top of that, we have Hyundai Steel, which is gonna help with the steel coils. And then in the near future, we'll announce our battery joint venture, and that's also gonna be on the site. So if you've ever been to a car manufacturing plant, you're probably just used to seeing this. But again, we're gonna have 4 affiliates and the battery JV, so massive, massive site. All right, so here's kind of a quick update on the site preparation. So as I mentioned earlier, we visited the site for the very, very first time last January. We signed our MOU with the state of Georgia last April, almost a year to the date. And we had our first meeting with Georgia and Tripp and his team late April. That's when the whole process of us started the whole process of us starting our discussion on site prep, what's needed for the facility, and things like that started. Since then, this is what has happened, and you can see the kind of time period and what's progressed. This is last summer, September, November, February of this year, March, and this is kind of where we are right now, just with site grading. Right now, the clearing, 99.6% is done, and the grading, we're looking at 82.1%. The JDA, Joint Development Authority, TRIPS team, has done a fantastic job. They're ahead of schedule, which I think with most construction projects, it's rare to say that you're ahead of schedule. So this is going very, very well for us. All right, with regard to the construction work itself, again, I mentioned the different buildings on the facility. The stamping shop, here's kind of the layout. This is what it looks like today. You'll notice just a lot of dirt, but a lot of piling work that's taking place right now, as well as some, we're starting to lay some of the foundations, and some steel erections also going up as well. So stamping shop, and here's all the percentages of where we are and all this stuff. All this is progressing really well. Stamping, weld, paint, and general assembly, everything is on track. So far, so good. Here's the utility center, the temporary office space. This is kind of what amazes me, and my background is not construction, so I'm always amazed every time I walk out there to see the progress. Our temporary office space is actually nicer than most office buildings, and so this is a finished building with a finished parking lot, concrete curbs and everything, and this will be where we'll be for the next couple months and half a year until some of these buildings start to get erected. Construction, we should be done with construction, the actual building construction, by October of this year. That's absolutely amazing to me when you kind of see where we were earlier, just basically steel erection going up. And then it'll take a good 6 months to do equipment installation. And then after that, it's all sorts of testing and pilot vehicles going down the line. But so far, again, everything's on track. And then lastly, I'll point to kind of where we are with the civil work. In addition to preparing the site and the utilities, we're also preparing all the road construction. Not only the roads going on site, there's 4 major roads that'll be around the facility, including interstate interchange, but also roads that are on the facility itself, and that's underway. Okay, and finally, this is kind of a bird's eye view of what the plant's going to look like when this project is complete. I'll kind of walk you through some of the key features. Again, this is the layout I mentioned earlier, the stamping shop, weld shop, paint, general assembly, and then you have the affiliates back here. Some interesting things, we're going to have solar parking, so we'll have solar panels, again, going back to the eco-friendly portion of the facility. Under those solar panels, that's where our employees will park, and so it's kind of the double benefit of basically we're able to kind of generate some renewable energy, but also it gives our employees a chance to park where it's covered, out of the sun, out of the rain, everything such as that. Likewise, you'll have a visitor center right here, the administration building will be right here. There'll be an eco park right here, and then kind of tying into trying to be a great workplace for our employees. There'll be a sports field for them, softball fields, soccer fields, training center that Georgia is building for us. So it's going to really be an amazing facility. the last thing that Tripp and I were working on the last couple days is working through making sure we're going to have a giant media facade that runs the whole length of this facility, and I think it's like close to a mile. LED lights that go down kind of parallel to the interstate, and it's going to be pretty impressive as you drive down Interstate 16. So anyway, as you guys, I think you're going to be, you'll probably pull off here. On this area right here, you're going to ride and drive, and so this will kind of give you an idea of where things are going to be, but you're going to be right in the middle of the action. So with that, any questions before I turn it over to Tripp?